Hey everyone, well, yesterday started Negroni Week, which is a whole week in the month of September that we dedicate to, well, Negronis and Campari in general. So today on the channel, we're gonna be making 3 different Negronis because, well, a typical Negroni is not technically really Tiki, so we're gonna go over some tropical/Tiki versions of the Negroni. One by Chad Austin, one by Connoisseur, and one by yours truly. We'll see which one we like best, but I think I'll know which one I like better, but I'd love to hear which ones you like better. Anyway, I'm Andy, this is Easy Tiki Drinks, and let's do this. As I mentioned, yesterday started Negroni Week, which is kind of a whole week-long thing that Campari does to spotlight Campari and Negronis in general. They use it to bring awareness to certain things and even raise some money for some foundations. Overall, it's a great thing, and I try to participate as much as I can every single year. So I figured for today's episode, it'd be really great if we went over some Negroni riffs or variations. Now, the Negroni is equal parts gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth. Doesn't sound very tiki, does it? And you're right, it's because it's not. So instead, what I want to do is I want to showcase 3 tiki/tropical versions of the Negroni that you can make at home, and then you decide for yourself. Let me know which one you like better in the comments below. Anyway, the first one we're going to start off with is Chad Austin's Tropic of Cancer. I reached out to Chad and I said, Chad, what was your inspiration for this cocktail? Well, he said, I love Rhum Agricole, and Giffard had just put out their Passionfruit Liqueur, so I figured this would be perfect. And essentially, his Tropic of Cancer is kind of a Rhum Agricole or a light style Negroni. Now, for those of you that are paying attention, know that I don't typically carry Rhum Agricole on the bar, and I don't typically love it. However, I went out and bought a specific bottle for this cocktail, and honestly, I may be a convert. To make this cocktail, you are going to need an unaged Rhum Agricole. I'm using Rhum JM Blanc 50. Campari, Passionfruit Liqueur, I am using Giffard's. In a mixing glass, you're going to combine 3 to 4 drops of your saline solution, or you can use a pinch of salt. The saline solution that I'm using is 20% saline. Next, pour half an ounce or 15 mils of your Passionfruit Liqueur into your mixing glass. Follow that up with a full ounce or 30 mils of your Campari. And finally, we're gonna be adding 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of your unaged Rhum Agricole. Next up, add cubed ice to your mixing glass and stir for about 15-20 seconds until the cocktail is diluted and chilled accordingly. Grab a big rock, drop it into your glass, strain the cocktail into the glass, and garnish with a lime wedge, preferably dehydrated. And there you go, that's how you make Chad Austin's Tropic of Cancer. Now, as I mentioned, his originally calls for a pinch of salt. I find that about 3 to 4 drops of my 20% saline solution works just as well. Now, you could sub out your Passionfruit Liqueur, go with something like a Chinola, but he specifically asks for Giffard, so I wanted to stick as true to that as possible. Next up, we're gonna be taking a look at Connoisseur's Stirred Jungle Bird. Now, Connor created this cocktail because he loves jungle birds, but realized he doesn't always have fresh pineapple juice on hand, so he took it and kind of put it to a Negroni template and made a stirred jungle bird. So for this cocktail, you are going to need sweet vermouth. I'm going with Carpano Antica formula, Campari, Blackstrap Rum. I'm going with Plantation OFTD instead, and pineapple rum. My pineapple rum is Plantation Stiggins Fancy. In your mixing glass, add 3 to 4 drops of saline solution, 2 dashes of citric acid solution. From there, you're going to add 3/4 ounce of your sweet vermouth. Follow that up with another 3/4 ounce of your Campari, another 3/4 ounce of your Blackstrap Rum, and finally, 3/4 ounce of your pineapple rum. Add ice and stir to chill and dilute. Grab a big rock, drop it into your glass, and strain the cocktail over the glassware. Garnish with 3 pineapple fronds. And there we have it, Connoisseur's Stirred Jungle Bird. Now, as I mentioned, I took a few more liberties with this cocktail than in the other one. He does call for saline solution, use that, no problem. He originally calls for acid phosphate, which I don't have. It is an acid similar to citric acid, except it's a mineral acid as opposed to an organic acid. I do have 20% citric acid solution on my bar, so I went with that. And this is to help round out the sweetness that we get from the sweet vermouth and the Campari and bring kind of that tart sharpness that we would get from lime juice in a jungle bird. From there, the sweet vermouth, he uses Coqui di Torino, I believe. I've got Carpano, so we went with that. The Campari is Campari. He uses a Cruzan Blackstrap Rum, which I just can't get my hands on, so I went with kind of the darkest rum I have, and that is my Plantation OFTD. And then pineapple rum, we went with the standard, and that's Plantation Stiggins. So there you have it, Connor Stirr's Stirred Jungle Bird. Moving on to the third cocktail, it's gonna be my cocktail, my Tropical Negroni. Now there is a few bits of prep work to this one, but I'll leave a description on how I made my different ingredients down in the description below and talk about it a little bit more afterwards. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Anyway, for this cocktail, you are going to need an Amaro. I'm going with Amaro Montenegro, coffee-infused Campari, and coconut oil fat-washed light rum. I used Plantation 3-Star and fat-washed it with some coconut oil. In your mixing glass, add 3 to 4 drops of 20% saline solution. From there, add a full ounce of your Amaro. Follow that up with a full ounce of your Campari. And lastly, finish it out with a full ounce of your coconut fat-washed rum. Add some ice. And then stir for about 15 to 20 seconds to chill and dilute. Grab a big rock, drop it into your glass, and strain the cocktail over it. No need for a garnish for this one. And there you have it, my Tropical Negroni. Now again, as I said, there were a few ingredients that required a little bit of prep work, like the coffee-infused Campari. All I did was take coffee beans and let it sit and infuse in Campari for 24 hours. Now the coconut fat washed light rum, a little bit more challenging, but definitely still easy. You're gonna melt down some coconut oil, throw it in a mason jar with your light rum, shake it to incorporate, let it sit on a shelf or your countertop for about 6 hours. That coconut oil is gonna start to separate. You're then gonna throw it in the freezer for over 8 hours. It can be 8 hours, 12 hours. I think I've done 24 hours before. It really does not matter. Once that coconut oil solidifies, you're gonna strain out the Campari through triple rinsed coffee filters into your sanitized container. And there you have it. All right, so there you have it, our 3 tropical tiki Negroni variations. Let's give them a try. First up, we're gonna start with Chad Austin's Tropic of Cancer. Now again, I am not a huge rum Agricole fan, but honestly, this cocktail and the rum Agricole that I chose may convert me. This is a sweet, slightly bitter finish with a nice vegetal note from that Agricole. It combines so well. The passion fruit comes through, but not in an overpowering way. That Campari adds a bit of sweetness and a nice drying palate on the very finish. And then that Agricole is doing a wonderful job of adding this such a unique flavor, to be honest. It's kind of vegetal, kind of sweet. I can tell that it's from sugarcane. It's a delicious cocktail. Moving on, let's try Connor Stirr's Stirred Jungle Bird. Now I love a jungle bird, so we're gonna see how this goes. It's funny, I didn't think I'd get enough pineapple on this, but even on the nose, I'm getting a lot of it. That is a much punchier cocktail than Chad's. And that could be because of the OFTD, to be honest. That is coming through a lot. That Campari is playing in there as well, again leaving that bitter back note. The citric acid, I might have actually upped it a little bit more. It's not coming through as much as I'd like. And honestly, I'm kind of losing that pineapple rum a little bit. Sad. It's still a good cocktail. And if you like Negronis, I would highly recommend you try this one because it's definitely more in the Negroni vein, where this one is a little bit on the sweeter side if I had to kind of play with that. Now on to mine. Let's see how it goes. So even on the nose, I'm getting that coffee from that coffee-infused Campari. It's very, very present. Now, of course, this is the one that I made for myself. This is my build. Of course, I'm gonna really like this one, but I will tell you, it is a wonderful cocktail. That Amaro Montenegro is adding a nice bit of herbalness and a bit of bitterness that is different, but complemented by the Campari. That coffee-infused Campari is so good. You're getting that coffee along with that kind of herbal bitterness from the Amaro, pairs so well. And then all of those flavors are kind of rounded out by the coconut fat-washed rum. Now the rum isn't super present, but the coconut is. So you get that part of it. And that saline solution is just really helping balance everything out. So there you guys have it. 3 different tropical tiki Negroni variations. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that little notification bell. Let me know, do you guys like these comparison videos? Like, I'll start doing more. Like, we could look at cocktails and do them 3 different ways. That might be a lot of fun. Anyway, if you do, definitely drop a comment below, let me know. Other than that, guys, follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at EasyTikiDrinks. Enjoy Negroni week, and I'll see you around. Because until next time, take it easy.